The new Renault Austral is the replacement for the aging Kadjar SUV. It's an all-new car and aims to differentiate itself from the huge pool of rival Nissan Qashqai-sized family SUVs through a combination of budget luxury, low running costs, a standard hybrid powertrain and clever additional features. With a name that's intended to evoke images of the Southern Hemisphere and a bold new look very similar to the excellent Renault Megane E-Tech Electric, the Austral's a big departure from the rather dowdy car it replaces. This is Renault's first convincing attempt at a mid-size family crossover, a kind of car that sells in huge numbers. It comes only as a full hybrid. Renault isn't doing a diesel, because people no longer want them. It's also avoiding, at the moment anyway, a plug-in hybrid version because those are expensive and Renault reckons lots of people don't plug them in often enough to save significant petrol. Pros: well-built interior, very low CO2 emissions, loads of standard equipment. Cons: driver's seat doesn't go back far enough, alpine trim only cosmetic, lumpy low-speed ride. On the inside, the Austral is very similar in concept to the new Megane E-Tech Electric, which is certainly not a bad thing. It indicates Renault's taking a step up market with its newest cars and really taking the fight to the Peugeots and Volkswagens of the world. The dashboard is dominated by two huge screens, both 12.0 inches on the diagonal. The first is landscape and set behind the wheel in place of conventional gauges, while the second is portrait and sits in the middle canted towards the driver to provide infotainment. Practicality-wise, the new Austral doesn't do badly. There's plenty of room in the back for two people, with lots of leg and head room, though the cabin is a bit of a squeeze for three adults to sit abreast. But they'll enjoy large side windows and, on some versions, a vast panoramic sunroof to flood the cabin with light. The boot's only an average size, though, with 430 litres it just pips the Ford Kuga hybrids, it is eclipsed by the Kia Sportage and Toyota RAV4. There's a weird lack of adjustment for the driver's seat, too. If you're long-legged, you might find it doesn't go back far enough for you to get comfortable. There's only one powertrain on offer for the UK market, and it's the most expensive, the E-Tech self-charging hybrid. This is a significant evolution of the awful system fitted to existing Renault hybrid models, such as the Arcana, and now uses as its base a 1.2-litre turbocharged petrol engine instead of a 1.6-litre non-turbo. The engine's hooked up to a complex array of electric motors and clutchless dog gearboxes, plus a small 2 kWh battery. The hybrid system works much better than on previous Renaults, switching between power sources smoothly and unobtrusively at all road speeds. It's not quite as polished as Toyota's highly developed self-charging hybrid system, but it's notably less clunky than a Kia Sportage. The cracks begin to show under acceleration, where the Austral has a pronounced hesitation before getting on with things. However, drive sensibly and you'll find it really quite pleasant. The Renault Austral isn't really a car for keen drivers. It leans in the corners and the steering doesn't really offer any feedback. While there are switchable drive modes, these mostly play with how the engine acts and don't change the chassis in any meaningful way. One feature offered that you won't find on any rival is four-wheel steering. This allows the rear wheels to turn up to 5 degrees, in the opposite direction to the fronts for increased maneuverability around town, or in the same direction for greater stability during direction changes at speed. The effect is that the large Austral has a turning circle the same as Renault's Clio Supermini, an impressive feat. The Trix system, badged as 4Control, also comes with a fancier rear axle setup that might be more comfortable than the basic offering on other models. As mentioned earlier, there's just a single engine option for the UK market, the full hybrid. Trim levels offered will all be high specification, and start with the well-equipped Techno. On top of that you'll be able to select Esprit Alpine or Esprit Alpine Plus. These are sporty-looking trim levels that take advantage of Renault's ownership of sports car brand Alpine, but don't be fooled into thinking that they actually make the car sportier or better to drive. They're totally cosmetic. What comes with each trim level is still being finalized, but all cars will include a high level of safety and comfort features such as adaptive cruise control, traffic sign recognition, autonomous emergency braking and lane keeping assist. We like the interior, and in particular the Android-powered infotainment are both very impressive. We don't like those vast wheels spoil the ride, making them a case of style over substance. It's also a pity that despite Renault's budget origins, the Austral won't be offered in any lower trim levels to give it a more compelling starting price. Dear friends, if you liked the video, please subscribe and like. Thank you.